Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hater plotting my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding out of line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably dollar sign. Got the energy to win in my I'm feeling great. Got a date with destiny, focusing on my fate. I don't give a what you rapping, you been a fake. I'm everything that they ain't, it can't be, it won't be. Wanna see me fall, I can't go, I won't leave. Coming from the block with plain clothes and police. Straight up to the top with bankrolls and rollies. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, 12 can't really stop, so I'm still pushing like a mosh pit. Ice dripping, think I'm hot. In a yellow bucket with the mop stick. I've been jugging jams like wholesale. Everything must go sell. Hitting with the old well. Need 100 milli on the low scale. On my worst night, I'm the best. Wouldn't mess with you, couldn't cap to him. Homie spotted me like 700, brought 1100 right back to him. If I can't do it, then it ain't real. I just make dollars, I don't make deals. I've been going hard in the paint, still blowing kush clouds till I can't feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it. Ay, ay. Look, I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Look, Papa don't preach, teachers don't teach. Gon' reach, that's facts. I ain't worried about none of that. I'm making that cash stack. Bunch of O's like NASCAR, but it's really more like NASDAQ. Why they thinking that they hot when they really more like quarter on me like a referee. Hating what they'll never be. Small top with a big bottom, yeah, shorty shaped like a letter D. Let her have it, then I let her be. If you love it, gotta let it grow. Crazy cause you really never know. When I'm hurting, never let it show. I'm a two-tone, two-phone, two-chain, new thing, lame whip, but you a broke. Low class, no cash, certified lame. I've been getting to it like I ought to. Couldn't pick, so I bought two. Understand why your chick came, I'm just trying to figure why she brought you. I'm really reppin' and I'm flexed up, and I ain't gotta tell him I'm next up. Sleep on the they rest up, but I'm up and I'm getting my checks up. Me and the fellas be high as propellers, ain't could tell us we great. Looking at like how do you figure unless you could talk about 8 figures. I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Look how we litty, we turned up the city, we raising the bar height. I been finessing, just look at them stressing, yeah, they been up all night. Sipping this water with somebody's daughter, she take what I taught her and build on it. Came in this game on that today, ain't in a couple years later, we still on it. Be hating on it. be waiting on it like a new season. I bet an acre on it. I put some paper on it like I'm loose leafing. Buying them assets. Build me a cash net I could fall in. Look at my last bit. Ain't got a tiptoe. I'm all in. Think on a level that can't fail. And I roll me a J with the hate mail. Been doing good on the merch sale. All this bread on me look like a bake sale. Tell her your was really good. I'll be really good on a jaw jack. Send an email about the bread. I'ma hit you back with the call back. I'm too cool for the rules, baby. Get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be.
Come on in. Wednesday night, episode 9, Box Truck Testimonials. Hope everybody is doing good tonight. Hope everybody's doing good. Make sure you guys hit that like button as you come on in. Hit that like button as you come on in. Look like it might be a little light night tonight. I wonder if YouTube sent out my notifications. Either way, the room will build up. The chat will build up like it always does. Come on in, hit that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. Shout out to Corey Jackson. Shout out to Nick. Shout out to all the MGMs. Shout out to the moderators in the building. I see SD Walk. I see Cleveland in the building. Brick City in the building. Andrew Green. Pippi in the building. I think we're going to have all the moderators here tonight. So shout out to all the moderators. I see Interstate Screw, Big Herm, Lafayette, Louisiana. I see Natasha. Natasha, you've been missing for the past couple shows. Glad to see you back. Jeremy Littman, Little Rock, Arkansas. I see you. Corey Jackson, Zupchuck. Shout out to Zupchuck. What else? Barbara Lee. I see Atlanta in the building. New York City in the building. Bill Bob, what up? GNL William LLC. What up? Shout out to everybody. What up? What up? I see Grace Logistics, so that means Chicago is in the building. We gotta do special sound effects for Chirac. We gotta drop them bombs for Chirac. So shout out to Grace Logistics. I'm coming down with another one, man. So I'm gonna be drinking my tea. You know, I'm gonna be drinking my tea. You know, I can't shake these colds, man. I be going to the gym, and the gym is probably one of the most disgusting places you can go. There's just a lot of germs floating around the gym and sweat. And even though I go to the gym and I got my mask and my gloves and stuff on, it just never fails. You know, people sneeze and cough and don't cover their mouth. It's just, no matter how much I wipe down the equipment, I just can't seem to escape the nastiness of the gym. But shout out to everybody. Trey Card, I see Detroit in the building. Come on in, hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. I'm gonna pay these bills real quick. And then we're gonna get this show on the road. Are you a small bit? Oh, hold on. I forgot to do it the last time. Give me 1 second, y'all. We gotta pay these bills real quick. Boom. All right, boom. Are you a small business owner in need of capital to take your business to the next level? Look no further than Rock Financial, your trusted partner in business financing. With Rock Financial, you can access a wide range of funding options, including business loans, lines of credit, equipment financing, and even merchant cash advances. They work with businesses of all sizes and industries. So whether you're just starting out or looking to expand, Rock Financial has a solution for you. So whether you need capital to grow your business, purchase equipment, or simply manage cash flow, Rock Financial is here to support you every step of the way. Visit their website in the description below. Make sure you guys click the link, in the description below today to learn more and start your journey towards financial success. Thank you again to our sponsor, Rock Financial, for making this episode of Box Truck Testimonials possible. And to all my listeners, remember your dreams and business aspirations are within reach with the right partner. Rock Financial, your success is their business. Come on in, guys. We got 40 in the room now. We're up to 40. We got 26 likes. Let's hit that like button, y'all. I don't want to have to stop the show. Last week, we had a great testimonial. Last week, we had about 130 people watching last week. And the likes were up. The likes matched. So I want to make sure this week we give our guests the same love. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys come in, hit that like button. You know, you got people up here that are telling, first of all, you got brave people up here, right? You got brave people up here, that are telling their story, and you're going to learn, if you get something good that they did, you're going to learn from that. If there's something that bad that they did, you're going to learn from that also. So it takes a lot of courage, I think, to come up here. So just show love by hitting the like button, guys. I appreciate it. The guests appreciate it. I see Big Zoe in the building. What's going on? Nightcrawler, I see you. What's going on? So hit that like button. Come on in. Let's get this show on the road. So this is episode 9. We got another guest that goes by the name of Shaun Rhyze. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate it.
Where you checking in from?
I'm in Wake Forest, North Carolina. Wake Forest. That's about 10 minutes away from Raleigh, North Carolina.
All right, so you in the Big Zoe is Big Zoe. You said how many minutes from Raleigh?
Like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
Wake Forest is right outside of Raleigh. I just moved from Raleigh to Wake Forest. So I'm like literally as soon as you get out of Raleigh, I'm like 10 minutes away from Wake Forest. From Raleigh. So
all right, so we got two back-to-back weeks, North Carolina. All right, so
back
boom.
to back.
Boom. All right, how old are you?
32.
32. Okay.
Originally from Brooklyn, New York. 4 children.
Okay.
My kids is 11, 9, a year and a half, and 5 months.
Oh, so you back to back with it.
Back to back. I done had 2 kids in the past year. Back to back.
Okay. All right. Same person?
Same person.
Okay. All right. So why is everybody? Because Big Zoe, he from New York and he moved to Raleigh, and you from New York. Why y'all New Yorkers moving from New York down to Raleigh?
Too expensive,
Yeah, I was just listening to
bro. New York is
the
crazy. New York is
yeah
crazy, bro.
yeah I heard it. Then I heard earlier today they proposing a $23 um
Yeah.
congestion tax to take a certain tollway. Yeah.
Like
I
here's
was
a
just
prime example. Right now I'm
hmm?
in Wake Forest. My rent is a 2,700.
Mm-hmm.
I got 6 bedrooms, 2,700.
Mm-hmm.
That same 2,700 in New York and Brooklyn getting you 1 bedroom apartment.
Yeah, that's
So think about
yeah.
that. A 6 bedroom house for 27 versus a 1 bedroom apartment for 27.
I get it. We right behind you. We right
Yep.
behind you. It's expensive here. I tell people all the time. That's why I be like,
Yep.
hey,
And
that's why when I listen to these gurus that live in
yep,
the South and they show these,
yep.
them houses don't cost that much down there. So they be fooling these people, man.
And on
Show
top
me
of
the
that
lifestyle.
too,
Show me the lifestyle living like that in Chicago or New York or LA. And then we'll have something. But living in Georgia, living in Texas, man, get out of here, man. I'm not, no, shout out to everybody, but I'm talking about for the gurus that make it seem visually like, you, you know what I'm saying. But
nah,
go ahead. Go ahead and say what you're saying.
it's way easier to flex in the South than it is in the North. Way easier. Way easier.
I mean, telling people, but
Way easier.
But man, it's your testimonial, man. So I don't wanna hold you up, man. Let's get into it. Let's start from the
We
beginning.
start from
When
the
I say the
beginning.
beginning, I want to know when I say the beginning, not I want to know the beginning as far as what led you to want to get into the box
Mhm.
truck business. Let's start from there.
Okay. Well, I already got a pretty decent background in trucking, so I've worked at mad moving furniture companies for like 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
2 men in the truck, Excel moving and storage, mad various moving companies in the triangle area. So I got a pretty decent background in trucking. Now, during the pandemic, you know me, I'm a hustler, so I'm always trying to find like the best way to make some money.
You from New York?
So
You ain't got no choice but to
no
hustle.
choice. And I got 4 kids. So I'm online, I'm on YouTube, and of course, like everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
trucking out the box truck bros, Big Vic, everybody like, yo, you can make 5,000 a week, 7,000 a week, 8,000 a week. So I'm like, word, it's like that out there. Now, being that I already got a pretty decent history in trucking, and I'm super motivated, and I'm just trying to do whatever I can to get as much money as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hey, that might be the way to go. And on top of that, too, I'm a felon. So being a felon, you ain't really got too many options to make $7,000, $8,000 a week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what initially piqued my interest. Seeing
Okay.
all the videos, me taking into account my what I got going on, felonies, what I want to make, being impatient. Cause that's another thing too with the box truck. It's not something that you like. You could buy a truck and if you really work in your magic, you could kind of like immediately, or so they say, make this 7 to 8 thousand fairly quickly. Versus if I work for a company, I gotta work there for 5, 6, 7, 10 years to get to that point. So for me, it was impatience and taking my situation into account.
Okay. What year was this when you were
This is
perusing
all
through?
last year. This all last year,
This is 2022.
2022.
So 2022 is when you were perusing through YouTube and when you initially got in.
So from I say probably like December of 2021
Okay.
up until March of 2022 is when I was consuming all this box truck content.
Okay.
So then
Okay.
we get to March 10th of 2022. That's when I
Mhm.
put my down payment on my truck that I got from Penske. So that's
So
how I
you bought
started.
you bought a truck from Penske or you rented one?
Nah, I bought it. So I got
Okay.
a 2018 Hino 268, had 240,000 miles, and the truck was for like 84,000. I put down
Whew.
20,000 for the down payment. Yeah. So 84,000 for the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Because my credit score wasn't the best, I'm probably in like the mid to high sixes. I couldn't really
Mm-hmm.
get that many lenders to touch me. So I had to put down basically like 25% of the truck. So I had to put down 20,000 for the deposit.
Mm-hmm. What was your interest rate?
Off the top of my head, I can't tell you, but I could tell you that my I put down 20. My down payments was, I mean, my monthly payments was about 2,400 a month, and I had to pay that off in 3.5 years.
So your monthly payment for the truck was 2,400. What were you paying for the
Uh huh.
insurance?
My insurance was 1150.
That ain't bad. That
Now
ain't
here's how I got on
bad.
though. So how I got into the game, I leased on to somebody.
Okay.
So me being impatient, me not trying to do all this, get your MC number, get all of that DOT. I'm like, listen, I'm trying to get this money. What's the fastest way I could get into it? So a friend of mine's already runs a trucking company. So I'm just telling him like, yo, can I run under your authority? This, that, and the third. So he let me run under his authority. He was
Mm-hmm.
taking out like 10%, and then he put me under his insurance, and that's how I was able to get that 1150 insurance. Because the problem is, before I hit my man's up,
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna try to do all this by myself. When I
Okay.
called Progressive, I don't really have the best driving record. I got a lot of speeding tickets, stuff like that. So they was
Mm-hmm.
quoting me like 30 something thousand, 40,000. I had to put down 8,000, and then my payments was like 3,000 a month. I'm like, I'm not trying to pay 3,000 a month in
Mm-hmm.
insurance. So let me figure
So
out a way around this.
so when and hit that like button too. We got 60 people in here. We only got 41 likes. Hit that like button. So let me ask you this: when you went through your buddy for the insurance, because even with going through him, 1,100 still seems kind of low to me. With what you're telling me, were you listed on there as a driver or no?
I think I was listed on there as like maybe like insured me. I think. Trying to think, what's the term for it?
It's either you listed
Uh,
as a driver or you're not. He could put the truck on there, but they have to list you as a driver. So the more infractions you have, the more liable, the more risky you
yeah,
are, and the higher the
yeah.
so with being upfront saying that you have a lot of infractions, even still 1,100 seems kind of low. But I mean, we'll get into that later. So you started your trucking company. You bought the truck. You said 84,000 from Penske, right? It's
Uh huh.
2018 Hino. You put 25,000 down. You don't remember what your interest rate on that 25 that
I
84,000
put
was.
down 20,000.
You put down 20,000.
I put
You
down
don't
twenty
remember
thousand.
you don't remember what the interest rate was. You got set up under your homie's authority,
Mm-hmm.
and you was off and running. So take us through it. You got everything. You ready to go run? Tell us how you started
All right.
running your first
So
load. How it got going.
here's where it get crazy. This is the funny part. I put down the down payment March 10th, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it took them about a month and some change to get my truck ready. I guess they had to do the inspections, stuff like that, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, I'm in Wake Forest, North Carolina. So I go pick up my truck June 6th. So I put down the down payment March 10th. I didn't go pick up my truck until June 6th.
That's 2 months. Two. Let me see. You said March 10th, April, May. That's 3 months.
Mhm. So I put down the down payment March 10th. My truck wasn't ready to pick up until like sometime in April. And then it probably took me like another month from when the truck was ready for me to be ready to actually go get it, because I still had to get the tags, the insurance, and all that, and I just had to get stuff situated at home before I could just go hit the road. Because my thing was, when I hit the road, I wasn't coming back home. Like, I wanted to have everything ready, so as soon as I hit the road, I could do my thing. I don't got to come home for nothing.
Okay.
So that's what took me like a month or so after my truck was ready to actually be prepared to go out there. So
Okay.
June 6th, I catch a plane from Raleigh, North Carolina to Shreveport, Louisiana. So they had my truck at a Penske dealership in Shreveport, Louisiana. Fly to Shreveport, pick up the truck. Now, mind you, the truck's supposed to be in great condition. According to the listing on Penske, the truck's supposed to be in excellent condition. The pictures look good, all of that, this, that, and the third. Go pick up the truck. By the time I got to Shreveport, it's probably 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so I couldn't get no loads that night. I pretty much picked up the truck, drove to one of them Love's gas stations, and just spent the night there for that night. So then, the very next day, I hit the load board. I'm all over the load board trying to find work. So me, being green, my first instinct, I'm just looking for whatever load got the biggest number next to it. I'm not really thinking about miles and all that. I'm just trying to get the most money possible. So I end up finding a load going from, I forgot where in Arkansas, to Jearing, Nebraska. It was for $2,550. It was probably like 6,000 pounds, and it was like pallets of sugar. So I deadhead from Shreveport, Louisiana to Arkansas, pick up that load, and then I drive to Jearing, Nebraska. Now, mind you, I want to keep in mind, I'm not following none of the DOT laws. I didn't stop at all. I drove that whole 19-hour drive and didn't log my book or nothing. So I know you're going to get on me. Like, I was coming out the gate crazy, bro.
Hey, man, do your thing, man.
Yo, I
you
didn't.
said you named a bunch of people when you first came on. They didn't tell you none of this stuff. I wasn't on YouTube at that time. So.
Oh, no, yeah, of course everybody's saying you got to log this, log that. Me, I'm a rebel. So I'm the type of person where I'm trying to get over.
You a rebel?
I'm always going to find a way to go left.
Okay. All right. So you just basically, you out there in the wind. You doing what you do. You doing what you want to do.
I ain't logged nothing. I ain't even, I bought the downloaded the Motive app, all of that stuff, never opened it. I picked up the load from Arkansas and just drove to Nebraska, didn't log nothing, didn't do nothing. Just drove straight there.
Okay.
So now, and mind you, where I messed up at, I should have never went to Nebraska in the first place, which I ain't know that. See, the problem is what I recently found out, when you in a box truck, you really don't want to go that far west because it's hard to get back to the east, which I ain't learned this until after the fact. Okay. So I get all the way to Nebraska. I drop off the load. Now the next morning, I'm on the load board trying to find work. And of course, because I'm in Jearing, Nebraska, which is in West Bubble, ain't nothing on the load board.
Right.
So I'm on a load board for 3-4 hours from like 7 in the morning to like 11 in the morning, just trying to find loads. I can't find nothing. So finally something popped up out of nowhere, called the broker. I'm like, hey, I see you got a load in Nebraska, this, that, and the third. And he's like, yeah, man, I just sold that to somebody. So I'm like, all right, fuck. So now I'm like, listen, bro, I'm in Nebraska. I can't find work. I'm like, can you help me out? He's like, yeah, man, unfortunately, like, you came to like a bad spot. Like, it really ain't nothing out here. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, what's the closest city from here that I could go to where I could really get some decent work? So he was like, either go to Omaha, Nebraska, which was a 5-hour deadhead, on my way to Denver, Colorado, which now this is June 9th. I'm
Mm-hmm.
on my way to Denver, Colorado. Check engine light come on already. Just bought the truck June 6th. My check engine light already on June 9th, 3 days in.
Mm-hmm.
So what the problem was, my DEF system, I had to regen. I never knew nothing about this. I never seen a truck have to regen, none of that before. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, I pull over, I click the regen button. I'm sitting on the side of the highway for like 45 minutes, waiting for it to do its thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I called Penske. I'm like, hey, I just got the truck 3 days ago. My check engine light is on. I'm on the way to Denver. So they're like, okay, well, whenever you get to Denver, just let us know. We'll find a mechanic in Denver you could drop off the truck to, and we'll go from there. Cool. Get to Denver, Colorado, spend the night there. Next morning, which is now June 10th, I call Penske. Hey, can you find me somewhere authorized to where I could get this truck fixed? Cool. They find a random mechanic shop. I drop off the truck to the mechanic shop. He hook up the little diagnostic machine, and I'm getting all these codes. Cylinder 3 misfire, engine misfire. I'm like, yo, I only drove this truck for 3 days. I'm getting all these codes. I'm like, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked the dude, the mechanic, I'm like, how long do you think it's gonna take to fix? He like, it's kind of hard to say. Just maybe give us about a week. All right, cool. Now, because of the F word family,
Mm-hmm.
at first I was just gonna stay in Denver, buy the truck, and just wait for it to get fixed. But I'm like, I'm not trying to just stay in Denver for a week. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll fly back home to Raleigh. Because at this time I'm living in Raleigh. Fly back home to Raleigh. A week goes by, call the mechanic. Hey, it's been a week. Yeah, it's really hard to get our hands on your parts. You got a Hino and the parts are just scarce and the supply chain issues. I'm like, all right, so how much longer are you talking? Just call us back in a week. Okay, cool. Another week go by, call them again. Hey man, we just really can't get our hands on this part. So long story short, a week turned into 6 weeks. I dropped my truck off June 10th.
Mm-hmm.
It stayed in the shop all the way until July 27th. 6 weeks. I'm calling Penske. I'm trying to figure out, can they give me a different unit? It's taking too long. I'm talking to all these different people. Can't nobody help me? Whatever. So 6 weeks goes by. Now we in July 27th. I get a phone call from the mechanic place. Hey, your truck is ready. Okay, cool. I catch another plane flight. I fly all the way back to Denver, pick up the truck. Now it's nighttime. It's probably 11 o'clock at night. So I just spend the night in Denver. Now I wake up. I'm on the load board. I'm still having issues finding stuff.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
You missed a pivotal, very key point. How much was the truck to get? What happened as far as the cost? Did you pay it? Did Penske
Oh
cover it?
no,
And how much
Penske
was
paid
it?
it.
Okay.
So throughout this whole story, it's a few times the truck broke down. So Penske paid for all the repairs.
So that place that you took it to, where did you take it to a Penske shop in
Nah, it
Denver?
wasn't a Penske shop. It was just an authorized place that could work on Hinos. It wasn't an actual Penske.
Is it somewhere that Penske sent you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the
Okay.
place that Penske sent me to, they did the research and they said that it was an authorized place that could work on Hinos because I had a Hino. So they approved of me to go there.
And they took care of all the payment,
They
right?
took care of it. If I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, I want to say it was probably maybe like 3 to 5,000, I think, for that repair.
And what was wrong with it?
So throughout this whole story, my truck broke down like 3 times,
All
and
right.
it's
Well,
the
just
same.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's the same issue. It's this DPF. It's something about
Okay.
the DPF system that just gave me problems this whole time.
Okay. All right.
So they claim that they replaced the DPF. They claim that they clean this. They switch this. Whatever. Cool.
Now the
So
whole
now we
time,
get.
hold on 1 second. The whole time from March 10th, when you put the down payment, all the way to whenever you pick this truck up, because you pretty much, when you picked it up in June, you pretty much ran for 3 days, then it broke down again, or 3 or 4 days
Yep.
it broke down again, and then you picked it back up at the end of July. All right,
July 27th.
so from March 10th, to July 27th, it's April, May, June, July, 4.5 months. You were paying your note,
Yep.
and that's $2,400 a month.
2,400 a month.
So $2,400 a month, and you said that was on a how many year term?
3.5 years.
So that's what, 36. What's that?
So I think by the end
No,
of everything,
because
I probably would have ended up paying like 100 and what, like 10,000, something like that.
yeah,
If
I
you
see
do,
the people. The people in the chat pretty much did it already. I see them putting the numbers up.
do 2,400 times what's 3.5 years, like 40
40,
something months.
42 months.
Yeah, so do 2,400 times 42, and then add 20,000 to that, and
Okay,
that's what was
so
the complete total of the truck.
and the sticker price was what, 84?
The sticker price was 84,750. 100 for 3.5 years.
So you pay.
So
Somebody in
why
the
you looking
chat.
that up?
Somebody in the chat, do the math for me. Do the math for me, because I gotta keep the show going. I'm doing the math, but hold on.
So here's a learning lesson.
I'm just
to y'all
trying to figure out the APR. I'm trying to figure out the interest rate. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure
Yeah.
out the interest
So
rate. It's
learning
damn near like
lesson number
30%.
learning
Go ahead.
lesson number one, main takeaway: if you don't got your credit right, hold off a little bit, because what a lot of people don't be understanding, when your credit score is lower and you're trying to get financing, you may get a few people that's gonna work with you, but they gonna want their money way faster. Because let's just say my credit score was like 700 plus. I probably would have had 5 years to pay off whatever I had to versus 3.5. So now my payments is 2,400, but if my credit score was, let's say, 720, and I have 5 years to pay it, my payments might have been 1,800. So if
So
your credit score is low, get it right before you jump in, because
so
you're gonna be
that
paying a lot of bread.
that's damn near 30% interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if the truck was 82, 84, you put down 20, and then once it's
Put
all
down
said and
20.
done, you paying like 120 some thousand in three
Yep.
and a half
And
years.
three
Yeah,
and a half years. That's the problem.
yeah.
3.5. That's a lot of people don't talk about that on the internet. People just be talking like, nobody talks about that specifically. Like, yo, if your credit, because you'll hear people say, hey, don't get a truck if your credit not right. Okay, cool, but like, why? Because
Hold
people
on.
be stubborn.
We got 108 in here. Let's get the likes up. 108, 53 likes. Let's get those likes up. Appreciate it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm listening.
No, I was just saying, people be needing to really know why, because people be stubborn. Like, if I'm somebody watching a YouTube video and a person just saying, don't get a box truck unless your credit right. All right, cool, I hear you. But I may still not pay that no mind. But if you break it down and be like, look, if you don't get your credit right, you're gonna be paying probably twice as much, and really break it down, then a person may be like, all right, you know what, like, maybe let me like hold off. But people don't really get into it like that. But yeah, main takeaway, get your credit right. Make sure your credit at least 700 and up. Because anything like 650, 660, something like that, your interest is gonna be up there.
All right. So March 10th to the end of July, you ran for 3 days. And how much was
It
that
did
load
one
that
load.
you? Then you did one load. How much was that load again?
2550.
2550. All right. So end of July, you pick the truck up in Denver, Colorado. You hop on the load board. What's next?
Cool. Hop on the load board. This is where I got an issue with Kirk, a fake issue.
With who?
So rewind. So let me rewind real quick.
Well, who'd you say? You got issue with who?
With Kirk.
Kirky Fresh?
Yeah, I'm messing
okay.
with him, but I got a fake issue with Kirk. Fake issue.
All right, let's tell
now
us
that's
the
my
story.
dog. But I booked my initial consultation with Kirk probably like the beginning of April, right before I was gonna like get the truck or whatever. Even though I pushed it off. But the reason why I got a fake issue with him, when I got to Louisiana, he told me to call him, which I called him. Me and him had a conversation. I'm just like, yo, Kirk, I'm in Louisiana, this, that, and the third. He's like, all right, cool, man. Like, just do your thing. Now, when I go pick up the truck in Denver, July 27th, and I hit the load board, I hit Kirk up. I'm like, yo, Kirk, I don't know what to do, man. Where you think I should go? He ain't even read it. So that's why I got a fake issue with Kirk. You should have read my message. But I know he busy though. I'm just messing with him.
So you saying you never had a consultation with him because he didn't answer?
No. I had a consultation with him around the beginning of April. That's how I got his information.
Right. Okay,
yeah, I booked a consultation with Kirk around like the end of March, beginning of April. Me and him had a nice conversation. I broke down my situation, all of that. He told me whenever I get my truck, just hit him up if I need anything. So I hit him up the first time when I got to Louisiana. Me and him chopped it up real quick. He was like, all right, you in the big leagues now. Do your thing, cool. But then I reached out to him again when I went back July 27th to get my truck. Because once I got my truck back, I was just trying to figure out, like, yo, what's like my best move from here? So that's why I hit him up just to see gave him the rundown about what was going on and just see what he thought.
Okay.
But he never responded to that.
Okay. So you in Denver, you looking for loads, and did you find what happened?
So I'm in Denver. Can't find anything really in Denver because everything is keeping me like in the West. As I'm looking for loads in Denver, Colorado, everything going to either Canada, somewhere in Cali, somewhere in like New Mexico, Arizona. Like nothing's really taking me towards the east. I'm trying to get to the east. So I was like, you know what? I need to go to another city where I could get some decent work. So that's why I hit Kirk up, because in my mind, I was either thinking about deadheading to somewhere in Texas, or I was going to deadhead to St. Louis. So I ended up choosing St. Louis.
All right.
So
you deadheaded from Colorado to St. Louis.
Deadheaded from Colorado to St. Louis to find some work. Now, mind you, keep in mind, I already deadheaded from Nebraska to Colorado. Now I'm deadheading from Colorado to St. Louis. Wasting all this gas, wasting all this bread, ain't got no load on the truck, nothing. So pick up the box truck July 27th, on my way to St. Louis. About 17 hours into me driving to St. Louis, my check engine light come on again. 17 hours in. My truck been in the shop for 6 weeks. As soon as I get it, I break down again in 17 hours.
Where'd you break down at this time?
In Hays, Kansas.
You break
in
the
super country. Hays, Kansas. Super country. So just like last time, same thing. My truck going limp mode. So I pull over, call Penske again. Yo, my truck acting up, this, that, and the third. Okay, we'll figure out what we can do for you. So they call a tow truck. Tow truck pick me up, and they take me to Wichita, Kansas. So I'm in Hays, Kansas. They take me to Wichita, Kansas, which is about a 2-hour drive from where I was at.
Damn.
They take me to Wichita, Kansas. And now they actually take my truck to a Penske dealership this time. This time it's an actual Penske.
Okay.
I get to Kansas. I'm running down everything. Hey, my truck keep going to limp mode, this, that, and the third. So they're like, all right, cool. We'll look at it. So I'm like, hey, how long do you think it's going to take? Probably take a week. All right, cool. So now I look on I look for plane flights because I'm like, all right, I'm about to fly back home again, wait a week, come back. Now, plane flights was outrageous back then.
Yeah, I
So
remember.
the plane flights was like $530 for one way. So when I actually did the math, I was like, let me see how much hotels cost. So the hotels was like $50 a night. So after I did the math, I said I could either spend $350 and stay in Kansas at a hotel, $50 times 7 for 7 nights, or I could end up spending like $1,000 trying to fly to Raleigh and fly back.
Right.
Because the plane flights would have been like $500 each. So I said, you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna just stay in Kansas. Book a hotel. I'm in Kansas for about a week. Week go by. I call the Penske dealership. They like, your truck is ready to go. I'm like, yo, you sure? Because the last people that said that told me my truck was good. It was in the truck shop for 6 weeks. 17 hours later, breakdown. I'm like, I'm just not trying to have this again. Like, I'm just want to make some money. They're like,
Right.
nah, man, you good. We checked everything. We cleaned everything. Cool. Pick up the truck. I hit the load board again. Now, this time, I'm in like super duper like grind mode because I'm like, yo, I've been in this truck for 3-4 days. I done deadheaded from Nebraska to Colorado to St. Louis. So I need to hurry up and get some bread.
When you was driving that 17 hours before the truck broke down from Denver to Kansas, were you running a log or no?
Nope.
Did you even have an electronic log or no?
Yeah, I bought the machine and everything.
You just never cut it on.
I bought the whole EOD machine from like Motive, all of that. I never used it one time.
All right. So when you was before it broke down, was you driving that 17 hours? Was it straight?
Nah, I stopped for probably like 5 or 6 to take a nap.
All right. So boom, it breaks down and
Hayes, Kansas.
boom, whatever. Yeah, somewhere in no man's land. They told you to Wichita, Kansas. You book a hotel. You there for a week. You pick the truck up. Boom, you back on the load board. What happens next?
So now I'm on the load board. Now I'm like, all right, I need to work double time. So now I book 2 loads. I book a load from Kansas to Dubuque, Iowa, if I'm not mistaken. And then I booked another load. So I would have had a deadhead from Iowa to Wisconsin. And then my second load was from Wisconsin to Siler City in North Carolina. Because at this point, I'm just trying to get to the crib. But I'm not trying to deadhead to the crib. I'm trying to make some money on the way to the crib.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm like, whatever loads I could take to try to get me back to North Carolina, that's what I'm doing. So I pick up the truck, 2 loads, Kansas to Iowa, and then Wisconsin to Siler City, Madison, Wisconsin.
Wait. Say that again. Where the Iowa?
I booked the load from Kansas, where I was at,
right,
to Dubuque, Iowa.
Dubuque, Iowa, right?
So I drop off.
Right.
Then my second load was in Madison, Wisconsin.
So you deadheaded from Iowa to Wisconsin.
Correct. But it wasn't a crazy deadhead though, because where I was at in Wisconsin was like lower Wisconsin, so I wasn't like deep in Wisconsin, so it wasn't like too crazy.
Madison is like a little bit past Milwaukee, a little bit.
If I'm not mistaken, I think from when I drove
a little northwest of Milwaukee.
I think I might have drove probably like.
So I don't know what you think is not a lot of deadhead, but for me being in the Midwest, I know where Madison is at, and I know Iowa is our neighbor to the west, and Wisconsin is our neighbor to the north. So I know from here it takes about a couple hours to get to Madison. From here it takes an hour and 30
I think I
minutes
might have
to
deadheaded
get
for
to
probably like,
Milwaukee.
I think I might have drove for like maybe 2-3 hours. I think to get
Nah, man.
to. I
Nah,
feel
man.
like it. I could be tripping. I'm trying to remember if I was in Madison. I think I was in Madison, but either way, I could be tripping because I spent so much time deadheading from Denver to St. Louis, which was
Nah, you're
so
right.
many hours.
You're right. It's about an hour and a half. It's about
Yeah,
90 miles. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, I knew it felt like a 2 hour ish drive, something like that.
Okay, so you did head to Madison.
Hold
Then
on,
what?
before we get there, breakdown
Wait,
number
why
3.
why you didn't go to Chicago? You didn't see nothing on the load board coming out of Chicago?
I don't know, the way the Lowe's wasn't my cup of tea, I guess.
All right. So
Yeah.
so
So
so you go up to Wisconsin.
well, no. So I'm going from Kansas to Iowa first.
Right.
I pick up a load in Kansas. I forgot exactly what it was. It wasn't that too crazy. Probably like 3,000 pounds. I forgot.
Mm.
I get to Iowa, truck breakdown again.
What month? We in August now, right?
We in August.
So from March to August, you ran 2 loads and had 3 breakdowns in between those 2 loads.
3 breakdowns and two loads.
Let me ask you this question. When you bought that truck from Penske, was it level 1, level 2, or level 3?
I'm not sure, but all I know is the condition was supposed to be like A1 condition. So whatever they consider like A1 condition,
Le-
that's what it
level
was.
level 1. So if
Yeah.
if if you bought a level 1 truck for 84,000 in
Mm-hmm.
2022, which was a 2018 Hino for 84,000,
Yep. And it had 240,000 miles on it.
240,000 miles, and you broke down again on your way to drop off in Iowa, right?
Yep.
So you were loaded.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about it. What happened?
Now
Hit that
here's where
like button,
things
y'all.
get yes. So now I'm on the way to Iowa to drop off the load. So this is the night before. Because by the time I get to Iowa, it's probably like 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to Iowa, I stop at a gas station, check engine light come on again. And it's the same problem. Like every single time this truck broke down, it's the same problem. The limp mode, and I got to keep doing the regen. For whatever reason, they just couldn't get this problem straight. Like it was the same problem every time. It was nothing different. For whatever reason, my DPF system just kept getting clogged up crazy fast, and it just every time. So next morning, drop off the load in Iowa. Now this time, mind you, I got the load.
Right.
So now I'm like, okay, I'm liable for this load. If I don't get this to where it's going, I'm gonna be liable, this, that, and the third. I'm trying to figure out what if I run what if I run a U-Haul and switch it? And I'm just like, yo, I can't afford to have my truck in the shop with a load on it this time. See, the other 2 times it wasn't a big deal because I ain't have nothing on it. This
Mm-hmm.
time I got work on the truck. So I'm like, I need to just get this off. So
Mm-hmm.
this time I won't even call Penske this time. I'm like, you know what? I'ma just try to drive on faith. And I'm just like, I'll call them whenever I get to where I need to get to. Like, I'm not about to call them anymore because I need to get these lows out the way.
Mm.
Because I'm nervous. I don't know, like, what's the procedures on if you sign up to do something and then you don't follow through. So I'm like, yo, like, I don't want to have to call these carriers back and tell them I can't take their load. I'm just like, I got to get these loads done.
Right.
So Iowa, drop off the load.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the crazy part. From Iowa to Wisconsin to Siler City, that whole process took me about 26 hours. I drove all of that straight, no stopping. I drove 26 hours straight, no stopping. Well, but here's what I was doing. Because my DPF system kept doing the regen, pretty
Mm-hmm.
much what I had to do was I would drive for about 3 hours,
Mm.
pull over, do the regen for about 45 minutes, drive another couple hours, pull over, do the regen for about 45 minutes, and I repeated that whole process from Iowa to Wisconsin to Siler City.
Siler City is where? What
It's in North
state?
Carolina. It's in North Carolina.
Whoa, 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 whoa. So you went from Iowa, dropped
Yes.
off at Iowa,
Yes.
went to Madison, Wisconsin, picked that load up,
Yes.
and went from Madison, Wisconsin to North
To North
Carolina
Carolina.
in
All
26.
at
I
once.
know how you did it. You a gangster, man.
Bro, I'm a beast. I'm drinking energy.
You a legal gangster, but a
I'm
gangster
drinking
nonetheless.
I'm drinking energy drinks. I'm smacking myself in the face. I'm doing anything I can to stay up. I'm falling
Did you see?
asleep, drifting off.
Did you see shit in the road? Did you get to the point where you saw shit in the road that wasn't there?
I see everything.
Like dogs in the road that ain't there and all that shit?
Everything. Yo, bro, I did everything. I'm in the window. I'm trying to chew gum. I'm slapping my arm, pinching myself, drinking. Whatever I could do to stay up. I'm like, yo, I gotta get these lows done. Yo, like I'm like, I can't stop this truck breaking. And then mind you too, I'm gonna bring up the family word, but
Okay.
not in a bad way.
Okay.
While all of this is happening, my girl is pregnant with my daughter. So of course this is super stressful for her too, because we done took mad money out of our savings. Like I said, the down payment 20,000. By the time I got the tags and the insurance and pay my down, I mean, got like the materials and the straps and the pallet jack, all of that, I'm probably all in like 30 something thousand
Yeah, probably more
just to like get.
because the hotels, the flights when the truck was breaking down.
No, yeah, no, I'm just talking about just like to get started though, like
Mm,
before I got in the truck. Yeah, if you
right.
account the flights and all that, yeah, I'm probably in like almost 40.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like I said, that was most of our savings. So now, mind you, I also want to point out to y'all that I do have a business on before I started driving trucks. I don't know if you're familiar with CMOS, but I manufacture CMOS. And I have a supplement store in North Carolina in one of the shopping malls. So I do have a
Okay.
business already. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I was able to really go through all these hardships because I had money from my other business to kind of float me while I was going through all this craziness.
Okay. So
Because
you get
I
to North
wasn't
Carolina.
dipping.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying because I wasn't dipping into my savings after like the down payment. Everything else was off the muscle.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
wasn't
mean?
going to ask you, but I figured you might have got a PPP.
Oh no.
Okay.
Uh
Okay.
Nah.
All
So the
right.
reason how we had to bread, my fiance, she sold her house back when the market was good in like 2021. So we had money from that.
Okay.
So yeah, that 20,000 and all that came from savings. That ain't come from no PPP loan, no bank loan, no nothing. That 20,000 was out of my account. Out
Okay.
of our account.
Okay. So
Cool.
you get to North Carolina, you drop that low, right?
Get to North Carolina, drop that off.
All right. So then what happened? This is all
So
we in
now that
August or we in September?
we still in August.
All right, bet. All right.
We still in August. And the
Okay.
load was like a bunch of mattresses. It was mad random. Like when I
Okay.
went to Wisconsin, I had to pick up like 100 mattresses from a hotel to take it to Siler City. So it was like some random. It was some random. A bunch of
Okay.
mattresses, whatever.
All right.
Get
So you
get to
drop them.
Siler, get to Siler City, drop off the load, and now I go to Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even booking no more loads, no nothing. I'm like, I gotta get this truck situated. I gotta figure stuff out. Like it's just way too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's crazy. My truck broke down 3 times, and when I added up, I don't even think I drove like I don't even. I think I might have drove maybe like 4,000 miles. So imagine your truck breaking down 3 times and you only drive 4,000 miles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Craziness. So get to North Carolina. I called Penske. Hey, the truck acting up. Same thing. DPF, this and that. Hey, we'll
Mm-hmm.
find somewhere in Raleigh for you to drop it off. Cool. They find another authorized Hino dealership in Raleigh off of Glenwood Avenue. I go drop off the truck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking the guy, hey, how long you think it's gonna take? Hey man, we're super backed up. It's probably gonna be 2 weeks. All right, cool, whatever. So the 2 weeks go by. I'm calling Penske like, yo, I need another truck. Like this ain't gonna work. I need another unit. They're like, yeah, we'll try to find you something. The box truck market is hard to find anything. It's probably gonna take us 2 months to get you into another unit. I'm just like, come on, like it's crazy. So long story short, the guy tells me 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, hit him up. What's the status? Hey, it's gonna take us another week or two. So that ends up taking a month. So my truck is in the shop now for the third time for a
Mm-hmm.
month. I pick up the truck. This time I'm scared to even go on the road because I don't trust it. I'm like, what if the truck break down? So this is where you come in. So I had just found some of your videos
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, you know what? Instead of me doing OTR, like let me try to find like something locally, some final mile, like something. So I ended up um in the meantime, while I'm trying to find something,
Mm-hmm.
I list myself on Craigslist, like moving furniture and stuff. I'm just trying to make some money with this truck because I still got these payments.
Right.
So I'm like, I need to be making money with this truck somehow. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
on Craigslist. I'm just advertising, hey, if anybody needs moving labor, I got a truck, blah, blah, blah. I finally get a lady who needs a 2-bedroom apartment moved from she had a 2-bedroom apartment and she needed to move to a storage unit. Cool. I waited until I got a gig before I picked up the truck. So when I pick up the truck from this dealership, this is the first time that I'm driving it since it's been in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
I go pick up the truck from the dealership. I go to this lady's house, load up her apartment. We go to the storage place, unload all her stuff. My truck go in limp mode while I'm at the storage place. This is the first day after my truck been in the shop for a month. Go in limp mode while it's just in idle. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, come on, bro. So long story short, I had to call the tow company. They towed the truck to a Penske dealership in Raleigh. And then I called Penske. I'm just like, yo, like y'all have to get me another unit. Like this is crazy. My truck done broke down 3, 4 times. Like I can't even get nothing done. Every time, the first time I pick up my truck, it breaks down and the check engine light come on the first 3 days. Second time I get my truck, breaks down in 17 hours. Third time I get my truck in Kansas, it broke down in a day because it took me a day to get from Kansas to Iowa. Fourth time I get my truck out of the dealership in Raleigh, breaks down the first day. I'm like, this don't make no sense. This truck breaking down every time I get in it. And it's the same issue. So
So
I'm like, y'all
so
got to get me another unit. We got to figure something out. I need to get my bread back. Like, we got to do something.
so in 6 months, so half a year,
Half
you
a year,
ran in half a year you ran
3 loans.
3 loads and did one move. And in between those jobs, for the most part, the truck was in the shop for anywhere from a month to a month and a half.
Yep. So in 6 months, I technically generated my first load was 2550. My second load from Kansas to Iowa, I think was probably like 14, 1700.
Mm-hmm.
And then my third load from Wisconsin to Siler City, that was like another 14, 1700.
Right.
And then the moving gig that I did, I think I might have charged to like 400. So, dude,
That's it.
yeah, I think I charged to like 80 or $100 for the truck fee, and then I charged to like $100 an hour. I think it didn't take me long to do it. Like it was a very quick move. You know how some people already be having the big stuff moved and they just need like the heavy stuff. It was one of them.
I know you worked for 2 men in the truck, so I'm saying you did it yourself or you had a helper?
I did it myself.
What floor was
Yeah, I
she
did it
on?
myself. Say what? First floor.
What to a
First
storage?
floor to a storage. Yep. First
You
floor
did
to a
yourself.
storage. Yeah, I'm a beast. Easy. Yeah, I'm a beast. Yeah, and I
Okay.
mean it wasn't nothing crazy. She just had like chest of drawers, certain heavy items. Like it wasn't nothing too crazy. So I loaded her 2 bedroom apartment up, first floor to a storage. Just me and a dolly. Took me maybe 3 hours, 3.5 hours, something like. So add
Uh,
that up. 2,500. No, I mean 2,550. Let's just say 1,700. Another 1,700, and let's
mhm.
just say 400.
Right.
Whatever that is, that's what I generated from this truck in 6 months.
Nothing compared to what you spent, but
And now add up my truck. Now add up the truck payments though. Do
so you
2,400 times
2,400
6.
times 6. So
That's like 15,000.
14, yeah, 14,400. So
So I have
yeah,
14,000 in payments. We ain't even including the money I spent on gas. And then if you
hotels,
add up
flying back and forth when the truck was breaking down,
all of that,
food, living in a hotel for a week, eating.
yeah.
Yeah, you was over $20,000.
And I only generated, let's do 17, 17, that's 34. 34 plus 2,550, that's 6,000. So I generated $6,500 in 6 months,
Okay.
technically.
So the truck broke down at the storage unit while you was unloading the lady, and they
Correct.
came and towed it. They came and towed it
Uh huh.
to another Penske or to a authorized dealer.
Another Penske.
All right, and this one is in Raleigh, right?
Correct.
All right, so it gets to Penske and Raleigh. Then what happens? Walk us through that.
Gets to Penske and Raleigh. I'm like, listen, I don't even want the truck no more. This is y'all truck. I don't care if you can fix it. I don't care about none of that. If I gotta sue y'all, like I went through all this litigation, back and forth, talking to all these different people from post sale. I'm like, listen, I need another. My first thing was I wanted another unit. So I was
Right.
arguing that for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
After I realized that wasn't getting nowhere because I kept getting, oh, it's gonna take you probably 2 months to find you a truck because the trucking industry is scarce. I'm like, you know what? Forget another unit. Just give me my bread back. They tried to find like some weird clause in my terms that they couldn't really give me the truck back because is I've already owned it for a certain amount of time, this, that, and the third. But where I guess the loophole was at, even though I owned the truck for 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
I put less than 5,000 miles on it. So because my mileage was so low, that like loophole in the contract like allowed me to like get my bread back basically. Because first they was trying to tell me that all we gonna do is just fix the truck again and that's it. And I'm like, nah, like it don't work. I've got my truck fixed 3, 4 times, same issue. I don't need a fifth opinion. Yeah, I done went to all these different dealerships, authorized dealerships. Nothing worked. So I'm like, I don't even want y'all to try to fix it. I just need the bread back. So after all this litigation, 6 months of back and forth, they finally refunded me my 20,000 for the down payment, and then they refunded me most of what I spent for like um the plane flights and stuff like that. So I think in total they probably refunded me like 28,000.
So in September, when it broke down on that job, they told it you left it there. You never went back. So from September to what? October, November, December, January, February, March. about March of this year, you were going back and forth with them, fighting to get your money back.
So I was actually fighting with them since July. So
Mm-hmm.
when the truck broke down in July, I was technically fighting since then. Like the whole time that the truck is in the shop for a month here, 6 weeks here, 2 weeks here. I'm like, yo, like y'all gotta do something. This ain't right. Like this don't make no sense. Cause I don't know. I had a feeling. Like once the truck broke down the second time in Kansas, something was like, I don't think this truck gonna last. I don't know. I just had a feeling. Like to me, it didn't make sense for my truck to be in the for my truck to have supposed to have been level 1 and it break down in 3 days. That's an issue. Then for my truck to have been in the shop for 6 weeks and then break down in 17 hours, that was a second red flag. And that's all I needed. After that, I'm like, I don't really trust it. So that's why
So,
since that second time it broke down, I was trying to get my bread back since then.
so the
So
back and forth, from when it broke down at the storage facility when you did the move in September for 6 month period, was it just you, or did you have a lawyer involved? Or?
nah, it was just me. I threatened them with a lawyer. Like it was me for probably like a good 4 months. Then I threatened a lawyer. I never got a lawyer, but I was just like, yo, like I'm gonna get a lawyer, this, that, and the third. And then finally, after 4 months of me, because the problem is takeaway number whatever 5 from this.
Mm-hmm.
When you get a truck from Penske, it's impossible to really get to whoever you need to get to for certain issues because they keep deferring stuff to everybody.
So
So
who were
when you
you
buy,
conversing with? Who were you?
so here's
Who
the
were you
thing.
dealing with?
Uh huh. So when you buy a truck from Penske, they assign you a representative from post sale. So Penske has a post sale department where you have a rep that deals with you after you purchase anything from them. So for a lot of the times that I'm calling Penske, I'm just talking to all these post sale people. I talk to one person, hey, I'm gonna escalate this. I'll wait a day or two, don't get a call back, I'll call again. This time I'm talking to another person. Everybody's just deferring the problem to everybody else. Hey, yesterday I talked to Mary. 2 days later, I call post sale again. Oh, well, Mary's not here. Now I'm talking to Sandra. Talk to Sandra. Yo, Sandra, did you see the notes that Mary left on my account? Yeah, I see that you called yesterday. I'll try to escalate this. Cool. 2 or 3 days later, don't get a call back. Call again. Now I'm talking to Jeff. And it was that same cycle for like 6 months until finally, like, I got all the way up to whoever I needed to speak to higher up that finally made the decision. Like, all right, like, we're going to, like, your voice has been heard. We're gonna give you your bread back.
And when did this happen? When did the money come back? It came back this year, right?
This came back the end of November. So
Oh,
I
of
was so
2022.
yeah.
So right,
So
right, right
it
before
took me from
Christmas.
yep. So it took me from July all the way until the end of November to get the
Mm-hmm.
bread back.
So Penske sent you back 28,000. Did they wire that to you? Did they send you a
They
check?
wired. So they sent it to me 2 separate ways. First, they only sent me 20,000 for the down payment. They tried to tell me that all of the other stuff, like the cost of the hotels, the
The
cost of the
operational
plane,
costs, right?
they tried to not really pay me for that.
Mm-hmm.
They really only wanted to pay me for the down payment.
Mm-hmm.
So all that extra 8,000 that I got, like I had to really fight for that. So the down payment, they wired that to me. The 20,000 I got wired.
Mm-hmm.
The other like 8,000, they sent me in a paper check in the mail.
Okay. When did
And
that
that's the
paper check
whole.
come?
That took probably like another like 3 weeks after.
And so you had to keep going through people. Then obviously, finally, you hit someone that you were conversating with that was picking up your phone calls or responding to your emails,
Uh-huh.
and that made the decision. All right, you know what? I've heard about this situation. I'm just going to send you back to 20,000, and then you contacted this person back again directly,
Essentially, yeah. Uh-huh.
and they said, all right, I'll cut you a check.
Yeah. So here's the issue. The problem is it's like a chain of commands. So what's happening, anytime you call Penske, you're typically getting the post-sale people first.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening is they're logging everything I'm telling them. After I got the 20,000, I'm like, that ain't enough. I need more. I bought this amount of flights. I had to get a hotel. I had to get an Uber. I had to do this, that, and the third. So I'm telling that to the post-sale person first. So the post-sale person is taking notes. Hey, Shaun isn't happy with just the 20,000. He wants to get compensated for this, and this. Then once the post-sale person hears my gripes, then they have to get that approved.
Did you have to submit receipts for all the
Yeah.
operational costs that you
Yep.
you spent while this truck kept breaking down? So
Uh-huh.
you had to submit receipts. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also too, I failed to mention inside that 8,000, they only gave me they gave me, I think, 1.5 months or like 1 month of my truck payment. Cause I was trying to get them to pay me for every month that I
Oh
was missing.
yeah, right. I forgot you paid $2,400 a month,
Yeah.
and times how many months?
6 months.
Times 6 months, so that's
Yeah.
14,400. So the 20,000 for the down payment. So you wanted 14. You wanted the 14,400 back plus the whatever
20.
thousand you spent.
Yeah.
So you damn near wanted back. Shit, you damn near wanted back $42,000. Damn near.
Yeah. 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 So they only gave me 28. So I was able to squeeze them for 28 out of, let's just say, 42.
Okay.
So pretty much all my truck payments, I had to eat that. Like they ain't really pay me for the truck payments. They pay me for like one payment, and after that, I was asked out on the other ones. Only thing that 8,000 covered was like that 6 weeks from the June 10th to the July 27th.
Mm-hmm.
They pay me for that, and then
Mm-hmm.
the other, let's just say 50 something hundred,
Mm.
came from the plane and the hotels and all this other stuff. So yeah.
All right. So Penske gave you 28,000 back in November.
Uh-huh.
So when the truck was finished in, I guess let's say October, you left it there. You fighting back with them in November. They gave you 28,000 back. Well, 20,000 November, another 8,000 December, and
Yep.
then what? Did you go buy another truck? This takes us into January of this year. So then what happened?
That was it.
Oh, that was the end of your box trucking
That was
stint?
it. I was in it. I was in and out in 3 loads.
Damn.
Three loads, 6 months. Like I said, if we really think about it, I probably spent, like you said, probably around like 40-ish thousand. And I technically only made like 65. So
So
I was really like,
you lost about
I was like
10,000.
negative.
About 10. Cuz the 14.4 for the payments, and then you made about 6. You got 28 back. So you down about somewhere between 8 to 10,000, give or take.
So I took overall. I took like a 10 to like $15,000 loss.
Mm.
Three loads in and out the game in 3 loads. 3 loads, 6 months. 3 loads and less than 5,000 miles driven in 6 months.
And the truck was in the shop more than it was on the road
The
with
truck was
Penske.
in the shop more than it was on the road for sure, and it was in the shop for like half the time I owned it. Because think about it, I owned the truck technically for 6 months. Well, from when I got in the truck, because I bought the truck technically in March,
Mm-hmm.
and I gave it up by September. So now it's like 6 months. March, April, May, June. Yeah, I bought the truck in March, and by September-ish, I returned it.
So why
So
did
I
you pick
own
a Why did you pick a Hino? Because normally you hear good things about Hino,
that.
but
That's
it
the
looks like
reason
you
why I
had a
picked it.
it looked like you had a bad experience. But you the second testimony I think since I've been doing it that had an issue with Penske. I hear other people say, they've had issues with Penske. My used trucks, I always bought my used trucks from a truck dealer who bought trucks from the budget auction. So all my used trucks have always come from budget. I've only had an issue maybe with one truck, uh, but I've never purchased a Penske truck. But I do hear a lot of not so good things about Penske. But it looks like they on the business end, after it was all said and done, it looked like they did right by you. So um, after they gave you $28,000 back for the lemon that they sold you, you just said, you know what, I don't even want to do trucking no more. I think this ain't for me. Like what was your sentiment?
My girl got pregnant again.
Hmm.
So here's where the
Okay.
F word comes in.
Okay.
So remember I told you, my two kids I just had, they're
Yeah.
literally 12 months apart. My daughter was born April 30th, 2022,
Okay.
and my son was born May 1st, 2023.
Mm.
Now, by the time mind you, when my daughter was born in April, my girl got pregnant again in September. So right at the exact same time that I'm
So when you
returning the
came
truck to
home
Penske,
from that load,
came
you got her
home,
pregnant.
came
You
home, got
frustrated.
off the
You were
rip.
just frustrated from
I'm
being
frustrated, off
frustrated.
the rip, frustrated, off the rip,
Oh
frustrated,
man, that man came home and just took out all his frustration.
frustrated, get
Hey,
all out. Yo, back to back, yo. She had my daughter the end of April, and by September, she was pregnant already. So at the exact same time that I'm telling Penske to hell with the truck, I found out that she's pregnant again with my son.
Mm.
So now, mind you, this is two little kids in a year's time, and we already got two big kids in the house. So things started to get overwhelming with just having my daughter, and then
Mhm.
now you pregnant again. So when I get this 28, I'm like, of course she calling me every 2 seconds, this is going on, that's going on, all this other stuff. Now she pregnant again. So I'm like, ain't no way I'm gonna be able to get on the road. She got 4 kids and two of them is under 2. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
let me try to do the local thing. And then I ended up getting a contract with Rooms to Go. And then I just said, let me just focus on my business that I'm already running. Because the thing is, I'm a hustler, so I'm trying to get as much money as possible. So my thing was, I was gonna hire somebody, work the store, and then I was gonna get in the truck, so now I could have two sources of income: money from my supplement store and money from this truck.
Mhm.
Because I had these two kids back to back, and I'm just trying to hurry up and get it. Impatient. I'm in hustle mode, grind mode. Everybody talking about 7,000, 8,000 a month, this and that. I'm just trying to chase the money. So I'm just like, I don't care what I got to do. I'm not logging nothing. I'm driving 19 hours straight. I'm driving 26 hours straight. I ain't logging nothing. Yo, I was wilding. Yo,
Hey,
so you know
man.
that the ELD machine that you got to hook up to your truck? I never
Yeah.
even hooked mine up. I bought it. Look, I probably could still find it in my house right now. It's still in the box.
Hey man. Hey man. Yeah,
I never
you
hooked it up. Never
yeah,
hooked it up.
yeah,
I just
you
brought it
lucky,
with me in
man.
the truck.
Yeah. What would you would have did if, because you said you drove 26 hours straight. What you would have did
26
if
hours.
Like, was you thinking like, man, if I get stopped by a state trooper, did you have like, was you thinking like, what
I
you was gonna
cons-
do?
I considered all of that, but on top of me considering that, what's worse, me dealing with the DOT or me trying to hurry? Because mind you, as all of this is happening, of course I'm telling my girl about it. She's super frustrated. You know, she like, yo, we just had a daughter. We put in all this money in this box truck. Shit ain't going right. So she frustrated and oh my God, I just can't believe this. And every time the truck break down, like you know me, I'm cool. Mind you, when the truck breaking down, I'm not buying. The only time I got the hotel
Mm-hmm.
was when I was in Kansas and stuff. I was sleeping in the truck all these other days. The truck broke down. I was sleeping in the truck. I was thugging it out. But she, you know, she's stressed out. We wasted all this money. Just had a new baby. It seemed like the money just pissed away. Then on top of that, we going through all this litigation with Penske, so it looked like we ain't getting the bread back. Cause for the first probably 3 months that we was negotiating, like it didn't seem too promising that I was getting the bread because I kept getting transferred from person to person to person. It took me about 4 months of threatening them to really get to like any next step. So for her mental, we bought a truck. You gone, you in Kansas, all this other stuff. So you're not here with me with the kids. We wasted 40,000. So I'm hearing all of this stuff while I'm on the road. So I'm like, yo, like, bro, just get home. Yeah, I know DOT gonna go crazy if they pull me over and see that I ain't even logging nothing. Whatever. I'll take whatever come with that. I need to get to the crib because there's just too much going
you
on.
you would have never got to the crib. They was going down that
I,
truck as
I'd
soon
never
as they
got to the
stopped you.
crib.
You'd have never got there. The truck wouldn't have made it there. You might have got there, but the truck was going to be right where they downed it at.
And see, the thing is, I was nervous because I was like, yo, I don't want to cut the truck off because what if I cut it off and then it don't cut? You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, yo, I just need to get back to North Carolina. Like I ain't even cut the truck off. That whole 26 hours, I'm filling up the gas tank, not cutting the truck off. Like I never cut the truck off. That whole 26 hours, I never cut it off.
Damn.
Never cut it off until I got to the crib. Never cut it off. When I pulled up the Solid City, dropped off the load, never cut it off. Every gas station I went to, never cut it off. Of course, when you pulling over to do your regen, you can't cut it off. So I never cut it off. 26 hours, never cut it off. I'm driving 3 hours, pulling over for 45. Driving for 3 hours, pulling over for 45. Did that whole process from Iowa to Wisconsin to Siler City to Raleigh.
Okay then. So you're done. You got back to North Carolina. They gave your bread back. You said the hell with it. Your girl probably won't let you do it no more anyway. You said you got a contract with rooms to go or something, but you didn't have a truck at that point no more, right? So you reneged on that
Exactly.
opportunity, right? And you've had
Correct.
no thoughts because you worked for XL Moving and you worked for 2 Men in the Truck. So here's my question to you, and we'll get the Q&A started. So if you got questions for him, I saw a bunch of questions in the chat earlier. Now's your time. I saw a lot of jokes. So go ahead and get your questions and stuff here
I'm
now, and
ready
I'll
for
pull up.
all of it. Talk to
He
me.
said he ready for all the smoke.
I'm
So
ready for
you
all the
know,
smoke.
so
Talk to me. Trust me.
all the smoke. Because I don't really know what to say. You know what I'm saying? You know, the man done ran, never used his law, probably never plugged it in. You know what I'm
I never
saying?
did.
He done ran illegal. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even really, he's not in it no more. So it really ain't the teaching moments. I really don't know what to say. Here's my question. You work for a two moving company. You work for a national moving company with 2 men in a truck.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you start a moving company?
Cause I'm tired of it. I wanted to get easier money. Cause mind you, the thing is, I already run a business, so I manufacture CMOS and I run a supplement store. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, I'm trying to find, I guess, where most of the money at. Like
The money isn't
when I'm
moving.
looking at, well, here's the thing though, I'm trying to do it easier. So for me, I'm like, okay, I could make 8, 9 thousand, whatever, in a box truck. I ain't got to worry about counting on nobody else. I don't got to hire nobody. I could just count on me. The problem with moving furniture, you got to find good help. They got to be consistent. Cause bro, finding help moving furniture is,
You, you ain't got
bro.
to tell you preach it to.
The moving,
Trust me, I know.
listen, moving furniture is one of the hardest
But
things to find consistent work in.
right. But here's why I'm saying it's a little bit easier for me to say, I've been doing this since 2010, so I've made money. But for you to just now be coming into business as a business owner, you got to go through all that. So when you
Yeah,
say the easier way to make money, you're local, you got like you busy at home. You having kids back to back. You know what I'm saying? So even though the physical part of it may be more strenuous, it may be easier for you to start a moving company. The money is better.
yeah,
You're local. You can still, do your extracurricular
yeah.
stuff at home. You know what I'm saying? And
Extracurricular.
and you don't have to be over the
Yeah.
road. And the thing is you have trained experience from a national chain. To me,
Mhm.
it would have just seemed like a no brain. And you're only 32. You're only
Yeah.
32. So and I've seen your Instagram. You look like you're in shape. You look
No,
like you work out.
I'm like
So
that.
so the mental where I was at 32 and where I think a person like you should be at in 32, like your mentality of moving is like how my mentality is now at 43. I feel like if you got enough guts to run across the country and never plug in a log, you should have that same dog. You just said you did a whole move by yourself.
Well, let me say this. I
I don't.
did.
That don't make sense to me, man.
Let me say
I,
this. I did plan on using the log, so don't think that I was just gonna be out here doing that the whole time. I did plan on doing it. It's just the truck started breaking down so fast. I didn't even really get a chance to really get in a group. I mean, yes, I know from the very first load I should have did it, but
yeah, you
it
supposed
was
to
just
have
too
that.
much going on.
And even without the law, bro, you running and not stopping. You seeing shit in the road that ain't there. You smacking your face,
I'm
chewing gum,
smacking myself.
turning the music up loud. Like that ain't you
I'm
can't.
drinking mad bang energy drinks, 900 milligrams of caffeine a day, heart exploding, head hanging out the window, chewing gum, smacking myself, pinching myself. I'm doing whatever.
Hey man, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man,
You
you
tweaking.
tweaking, dog, you tweaking. Yeah, so
Yeah.
no plans on starting a moving company, right?
I mean, that's something that I did consider. Like, it's not necessarily off the table. It's just because well, here's the thing. A lot of my time is taken up manufacturing this CMOS. So that's the company that's what I do now. And that's what I was doing
Mm.
before. I manufacture this product called CMOS. I make everything by hand.
So
Then I
you
got a
manufacture it
supplement.
because that was a question somebody had. You manufacture it,
Uh-huh.
right? All right,
Yeah.
so that takes that care of
Yeah.
that question. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, my company is seeitworks.us. You can look me up on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, See It Works. I have a supplement store called Expert Nutrition. It's located in Triangle Town Center Mall in Raleigh.
Hmm. Okay.
So I already was doing that. And for me to just get the money back, and then I'm like, okay, I already got this. So here's the thing. If I would have had more infrastructure in my CMOS business, like if I had somebody manufacturing it, if I had somebody that was doing the shipping and handling, then I probably would have felt more comfortable just doing the moving furniture.
Hmm.
because I was still kind of running my business while I was out of town. So what I was doing was my whole plan with the box truck stuff was to do like 2 or 3 weeks on, 1 week off. Like my goal was to do that type of cycle. 2 weeks on, 1 week off, something of that nature. So my game plan was every time I would come in town for that week, I would make a whole bunch of CMOS, enough to where while I'm on the road, my fiance and my best friend that I had helping me could still distribute it. So technically, I was still kind of running my CMOS business while I was on the road because I was just making it in like huge batches and then I was leaving.
Mm-hmm.
But I never found anybody to make the CMOS for me. I didn't really teach my girl how to do it, so I still was like trying to do too much at once.
Okay.
So,
Lovey the Banks family says, I just got a Penske truck in Oregon. Pickup date on the 23rd. Any suggestions warranty wise?
go to Ryder. That's the warranty. Now I'm playing. I don't know, bro. Like I said, so I asked the people at Penske, I'm like, yo, is my situation like, have you really seen anything like this before? I don't know if they just telling me that because they just want to make me feel better, but they're like, nah, like, we've seen things happen, but like, your situation is a super rare occurrence. Because I'm like, mind you, I did a lot of research before I bought the Hino. Like, I was watching so many videos, what's a good truck to get? So I seen like Freightliners. Hinos is apparently like the Toyotas of trucks. So I'm
Right.
like, all right, like I'm supposed to be in the clear, but I get a Hino and it's a limit. So I don't really have no suggestions on the warranty per se, to be honest.
Let me see. Somebody said, did you call Penske daily or weekly when you was calling to get your bread back?
I called them probably every couple days, maybe every 4 or 5 days. Sometimes I never called them daily. There may have been like a few periods where I maybe called them like once or twice in a row, but it wasn't like every single day. It was like 1 or 2 days, give it a few more, 1 or 2 days. Because that's the thing. Every time I'm calling them, they're telling me to hold tight. We're going to escalate this and then we'll call you. So I'm trying to give them the leeway to do that every time. So I'm calling them. Hey, I spoke to such and such. This is the issue. Can you please get me with somebody? Okay, cool. I give them about 2 to 3 days, realize I ain't get no email, no phone call, and then I would call back. So I would say I was probably calling like every 3, 4 days.
Okay. Let me see. Any questions? Any questions? Big Zo says he remembers you. I remember you, dog. Keep pushing. That sea moss is lit. Big Zo is out in
Hey,
Raleigh too.
yep, let's go.
So,
Yep.
all right. So basically, any questions? If you got questions, they label it level 1, hoping you won't complain if the shit breaks down. So, it's whenever you buy anything used, it's a luck of the draw. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said in the chat earlier that's why it took so long for when you originally purchased it, put the down
Yeah,
payment. That's why it took so long for them to tell you to come pick it up. They probably saw that issue when they were
yeah.
prepping it for you to pick up, and they probably were fixing it. But
Wiping codes, whatever. Wiping off
yeah,
codes.
they should have just, I mean that time period where you came in, trucks weren't plentiful. They were charging an arm and a leg
Yo,
up for trucks.
$85,000 for a
Yeah.
2018 with 240,000 miles.
Let me ask you this.
85,000.
Let me ask you this. With the current state of the trucking industry, I don't know if you follow it
Yeah,
since you've
yeah, I
been out
follow it
of
every
it.
day. I'm still in a group chat with people who drive trucks every day. I don't know if you know, it's a dude on on YouTube. His name is Lover of Engines. His
Yeah,
name is
Kirk.
Africa.
I don't think he's in it. What? Yeah, he's still in it. He's still in
Nah,
trucking,
he's still
right?
in the yeah. He like moved. He actually used to live out here in Raleigh, I think too, and he moved to Chicago.
Yeah,
But
Kirk. I don't.
he's another pretty decent influencer out here. So
Yeah,
I'm in a group chat with him because he was actually the very first YouTuber that I booked a consultation with was the Lover of Engines dude.
yeah. I know his
So,
channel. I know Kirk critiques. Well, used to critique him a lot. I don't know if Kirk is too fond of it,
yeah, so
but.
I met him first,
Hmm.
and then after I met him, he put me in like a group chat on WhatsApp with like
Hmm.
100 other truck drivers. So I'm
Hmm.
constantly like in group chat with other truck drivers every day. Just hold on one
To,
second.
the, yeah, if you got questions, go ahead and drop them questions now. Great polo. Let me see.
All right, my bad.
So my question to you is if you were stayed in, let's say they would have swapped the truck out or they would have just fixed it and it never broke down again. Do you think you there?
I'm listening. Sorry.
Do you
Go ahead.
think, with everything that has occurred since December of last year when you got your money back, where do you think you would be in trucking now? Do you think you would have survived or what? Because you got high cost. You got high cost and a big
Now
node and
my cost of living is crazy.
now I'm
My
talking about your
personal
truck costs, your business for the truck, your notes 2,400, and just with
yeah
everything since you still follow it, everything that you see that's
yeah
going on with trucking, as far as the supply and demand, the volume of freight not being there, and just all the different things that a lot of truckers are complaining about now. Do you think you would have
mhm.
still been able to survive? Do you think you would still be out here?
Honestly, I probably would have did local.
Okay, you would have
Yeah, I
transitioned
probably
to
would have did
local.
local. Bro, it's crazy. I got homeboys that was in the truck driving industry that's like live in Raleigh. And
Mm-hmm.
one of my homeboys, he got his truck for sale right now. I ran into him at Walmart probably 2 months ago. Me and him kind of jumped in the industry at the same time, and he just like, yo, like the rates is crazy. I can't get nothing. His truck for sale. Every time
Mm-hmm.
I talk to people online, everybody complaining the rates is low. So to be honest, I probably would have did the rooms to go because
Right.
from what in my area,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these contracts, XPO logistics, Lowe's, stuff like that, it seemed like the average weekly payout for a lot of these final mile is like around 3,000, 3,500. That seems to be like the average. Now, rooms
Okay.
to go was the only place I could find where you had the potential to make like 4 or 5 thousand because they pay
Mm-hmm.
you a percentage of like what you load on your truck. So when I went to rooms to go, like I actually shadowed somebody. Like they I
Mm-hmm.
got a contract and everything. I just never finished it. But
Mm-hmm.
I know people in rooms to go that if you hustle, you could probably make like 4 or 5 thousand a week. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have ended up going that route and did like rooms to go. And maybe possibly I would have did some moving furniture on the side, possibly.
How long
I
did
ain't even
go ahead.
go ahead. No, go
How
ahead.
long how long did you continue to pay your bills while fighting to get your money back? You kept paying your truck note the whole process until you got your bread back?
I got them to hold off on it for like maybe like 2 or 3 of those months
Mm-hmm.
because the
Okay.
problem was too, like I told you, it's impossible to get in touch with anybody from Penske. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times, like when it initially happened, I'm telling Daimler Financial because that's the place who lended me the money for the truck. Daimler Financial, they based in Texas. So I'm telling them like, listen, can y'all hold off on the payments because I got this going on with the truck. So of course they're like, they want to verify that everything I'm saying is the truth, and they want to verify that I'm not on the road. So that's why there was a lot of miscommunication going on with the lender and
Mm-hmm.
Penske. So that's why there was like months that I still had to pay because they couldn't get in touch with nobody in time and all this other stuff.
How much was the cost? You didn't have to pay for the tolls. He wants to know how much was the cost of the tolls.
I didn't pay for any of them, but the first tow from Hayes, Kansas to Wichita, I
Uh-huh.
want to say that tow was like almost 3,000.
And that was the 2-hour tow, right?
That was a 2 hour tow. Yeah, it was like 20 something hundred, like 2,500, 29, something like that. Yeah, from Hayes,
Uh,
Kansas to Wichita, Kansas. That first tow was like I said, two and some change, almost three. And then the second tow from the um storage unit to the Penske dealership, I think that was maybe a couple hundred, something like that. I ain't asked him about that because at that point I was so checked out, I ain't care what nothing costs. When I was in Kansas, I was still worried about cost. So I was like, hey, I just want to know how much the tow is. When they towed my truck the second time, I ain't care because I'm like, that ain't even my truck no more.
right. Let's see. The Banks family. This was last year. So,
Yeah, so all of
uh,
this takes place from March 10th until like the middle of September is technically when I was going through all this with the truck. I put
of
my down
2022.
payment. Yeah, so March 10th, 2022, down payment. June 6th, 2022, pickup. June 10th, 2022, first breakdown. 6 weeks in the shop, pickup truck. Second breakdown the day after. So this is July 28th. Truck is in the shop for another week. Pick that up. So what's that?
Mm-hmm.
May 4th or something? May 3rd, 4th, or 5th? I mean, August 4th or 5th, 2022. Pick up the truck again. Drive to Iowa. Now this is August 5th or 6th. Truck breaks down again for the second time. This time I decide to gun it, drive on faith. So I drive from Iowa to Wisconsin to Siler City to Raleigh, with this whole rotation of 3 hours on, region, 3 hours on, get to Raleigh, drop off the truck. Another month goes by, pick up the truck. That same exact day that I pick up the truck for the first time, which we're now in the beginning of September, let's just say 5th, 6th, 7th,
Yeah.
do a moving job, 2 bedroom to a storage. And as I'm finishing my last few pieces of her house, truck going in limp mode at the storage unit. And then I get it towed again.
All right,
So
Quan. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, so essentially we're talking from beginning of March to beginning of September
2022.
of
So last
2022.
year, Quan, he
So
bought the truck, so there was no return process. When it broke down the last time, when they came and told it, he just left it there and he fought to get his money back. So this
yeah,
was
that was the return process. When the truck broke down the last time, they picked it up, took it to a Penske dealership off of Spring Forest Road in Raleigh, and then they just left it there. To be completely honest, I drive past Penske almost every day because it's not too far from my crib. I
Mhm.
think my truck might still be in the parking lot.
They don't think they can sell that truck no more. I think they would be
Yeah, because
bogus.
I drive past that dealership at least 3, 4 times a week, and I always just look to see if my car there. Last time I really cared to look, my truck was still there.
Did you ever retrieve all your equipment and stuff from it?
I left the pallet jack. I took the straps and I took some of the blankets, but I left the pallet jack.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Uh, Nightcrawler says, Mark, maybe you should collaborate with Penske. I reached out to Penske twice, so I went through the media department, and they don't want to. You know, Penske doesn't want to come on a podcast and be interviewed and
yeah,
things like that. Penske and Enterprise, Ryder, Budget, all those rental truck companies throughout the pandemic, they saw record years. They made record revenue those years. And I reached out to Penske last year, and I reached out and I went through the protocol. I just didn't like go on Instagram and DM. Like I actually went through the actual media department. They politely declined both times. Enterprise never responds to me. I never reached out to Ryder or Budget. I've always just reached out. I reached out twice to Enterprise, and I've reached out twice to Penske. Penske responded twice. They politely declined, and Enterprise never responds. So I don't think they would be willing to come. I don't think they do stuff like this, and they definitely wouldn't come on mine because I would hit them. Like, one, I want to know, why rates went up during the pandemic, which I kind of got an idea why they went up. And I would want to talk about, used trucks, like some of the issues that he has as far as like what's their protocol, and just little other things that I just kind of want to know as far as how they determine, the rental rates, why the rental rates are different in different markets, and so on and so forth. So, but they keep declining. So it is what it is. Lovey, his down payment was 20,000. You're gonna probably have to go back. You're gonna probably have to go back. If you came in late, you're gonna have to go back and watch the replay from the start. All right.
20,000 was the down payment.
A lot of those questions is covered at the beginning of the live stream. Would you consider getting back into the trucking if you offer delivery service for your CMOS business? It may generate more revenue. Somebody else asked that too.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even need to. You probably could start it on a local level with just a cargo van. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because it's in jars, right? Yeah, so you could probably start small with.
Now here's
with
the thing, though. CMOS does need to be refrigerated. Now, I mean, it can be unrefrigerated for short periods. So, I mean, if I'm staying local, yeah. But if I'm trying to drive anything more than like 10, 12 hours, I probably would need a reefer. Something that's refrigerated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But once I get my business up to that point where I got that much CMOS selling that I could fill it up in a truck for sure. But I mean, we're doing okay now. I would say now.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the reason why they asked me why they didn't give you a different truck. They kept saying that the trucks were scarce and they couldn't find any.
They were,
and I didn't feel like waiting. I didn't feel like waiting for them to do it because every time I talk to them, they saying it's gonna take a month and a half, possibly 2 months to get a truck. And I'm like, I'm all in on this money. Like, I need to get it now. I'm not trying to wait 2 months for another truck. And plus, I ain't believe it either. Like, I feel like I'm like, no, like, y'all just saying that. Like, nah, I need a truck sooner than that. So I just called them on their bluff. I'm like, ain't no way it could possibly take y'all 2 months to find a truck. If y'all got trucks on your website for sale right now, how you going to tell me it's going to take you 2 months to find a truck? So I ain't believe it. I just felt like they were just saying whatever. So I'm like, nah. They ain't want to give me that truck. They ain't want to lose that bread, or as they perceive a loss. So they'd rather sell that truck to somebody else for another $85,000 instead of giving it to me.
Moving Money said they never offered you a heavily discounted rental while your truck was in the shop.
Nope, the discounts wasn't enough. Yeah,
but
they wasn't even really trying to get. Nope, they ain't really give me no deals either. That's another thing I asked them. I said, hey, what if I try to get a rental? Can y'all wiggle on the rates? They wasn't really trying to budge with none of that. Yeah, like they wasn't really trying to help with nothing. I had to threaten to sue them for months and months and months just to get the bread back.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, when we first was in litigation, they was trying to not give me the bread because they said I had the truck for 6 months. But then when we really fine tune comb through the paperwork. We like, look, even though you had it for 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
you only drove it less than 5,000 miles. So because of that, I was able to kind of get that bread back. But if it wasn't for that, I probably would have had to just keep getting the truck fixed, and I might still have the truck now, or I
Great
may have
Polo.
tried to sell it.
Great Polo says, "Do you feel like Penske knocked you out the trucking industry? Do you feel like the reason why you're out is because and due to Penske?"
I feel like they're the reason why I'm out as soon. Cause I mean, like I said, if I was still in the industry now with the way that it
Mm-hmm.
is, the current state, I
Mm-hmm.
probably would have moved to local. But it
Cause
may
you.
be a blessing in disguise because it's ironic that at the same time that all this stuff happened with my truck, the truck industry just take a drastic downfall. So me, I kind of also seen it as maybe this is a sign that I need to be in the industry. To be honest,
Mm-hmm. Cause you got
when
your
I was
money
in,
back. You could have
yeah,
reinvested into another truck or maybe even a
yeah,
cargo van. But you mentioned
yeah,
that your girl got pregnant again and you couldn't run over the road while she was,
yeah.
at
I just
home,
took it as a sign
pregnant.
like maybe I just need to double down on the business I already got instead of trying to diversify so fast.
Here's a question that someone asked earlier. I think it's the same person. Natasha said, "Did you take a mechanic with you?" Well, you bought the truck online, so you didn't
No,
go look at it, or nor did you go send a company that was out there to go diagnose it, a third
no,
party
that's
company
what
to
I
go
no.
diagnose it.
I ain't do none of that. I should have.
Okay.
Yep. I never got another opinion other than Penske.
All right. Axel
Never
says
got
since you
another
put
opinion.
Axel says since you put under 5K miles and obviously contract was no good and they refunded deposit in the hotel, tell them to refund all the payments or get a lawyer. Easy win.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Like,
probably
that's a
too
fact.
late
I
now.
thought about doing that. I'm just like, I just am so tired of the process. I'm like, if I get a lawyer, I gotta spend money on that, and then I gotta deal with. I was just like, I'm gonna just take the 28, and I'm gonna just call it a day with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was something I considered though. Like in my mind, I'm like, if I could get a lawyer, I could probably get maybe like another possible 10 bands. But then I was like, if I get 10 bands
The
and I gotta
the re,
pay a
the
lawyer
the
X amount of
the re,
thousand,
the retainer on that probably would have been 5 to 10 bands. You
that's
know
what
what I'm
I'm
saying?
saying. Like
At
in
that
my mind, I'm
time.
like, it wouldn't even been worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the time I would
So
have paid lawyer fees, you know what I mean? I might have maybe came up 2 or 3 thousand, maybe, but I just took the 28 and said, I'm gonna just get it like that. I'm gonna
Quan,
take
we
it as
we
a hard lesson learned.
then we answered that question, Quan. They didn't give him nothing. They didn't even offer him a rental truck.
They ain't
So
have
they didn't
any.
offer him nothing.
They
Right. This was
think
during
they
this was
think
during
was
the
they ain't have
pandemic.
none.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah,
nothing
it was during the
available.
pandemic.
This was during
Nope.
the pandemic when nothing shaking.
Trust
Nothing
me, I asked for
shaking.
all of that. I asked for rental. I asked for another truck. I asked for a temporary truck. Trust me, I checked off every box. They was like, we don't got it. We don't got it. We don't got it. It's gonna take 2 months. We don't got it. So I'm just like, what can you
All
do?
right. All right, man. So in pardon, man, you got any last words you want to tell people, man, that's coming into the space from your experience? If you could give some words of whatever encouragement or things to look out for in a minute, in 60 seconds, what would you tell somebody that was looking to get into the box truck business in 60 seconds or less? What would you say?
Main takeaways: make sure your credit is on point, at least over 700, so you're not paying crazy interest and your truck payments ain't high. Takeaway number two: make sure you take a mechanic with you to go look at your truck if it's new or used. Takeaway number three: make Mark will probably say, make sure you ain't got no family. Nah, I'm playing.
I mean, you could have a family. I mean,
Nah, don't
you
mess with
you
you.
I know you ran over the road with a family. You just kept
Yeah.
producing family every time you came home. You kept
Yep.
making new family. So, But okay. So yeah, I mean, I think those are some good points. So important, guys. I got pinned to the top of the chat. If you want to come on an episode of Box Truck Testimonials, go ahead and email me. My email is pinned to the top of the chat. This was episode 9. I appreciate everybody. He said, how much was his insurance cost? It was $1,100. So
Oh,
everybody that came, 1150. Everybody that came in late, a lot of the questions that y'all got, we talked about at the beginning of the episode. So if you came in late, just once I end it, restart it. You know what I'm saying? That way you can catch all the stuff you miss.
One more takeaway.
Go ahead.
If you got anything on your driving record, try to get that cleaned up because the rate of your insurance is heavily dependent on your driving record. Because like I said, when I tried to get my own insurance through Penske, they was talking about $40,000 policy. I would have had to put down 8 and then spend $3,000 a month, $3,500. The only reason why I was able to pay $1,150 because I leased on. So make sure your driving record is as good as it could be. If you could get something taken off, get it took off. Make sure your credit right. Make sure you bring a mechanic with you to scope out the truck.
One more question. Back at says, outside of CMOS, how was you able to stay afloat? I guess he's saying CMOS ain't bring you enough money for you to stay afloat how you would stay afloat out there. He said basically, how else would you have money coming in?
That's it, bro.
So
yeah.
that's it.
I'm the main distributor of CMOS in the Triangle. Right now, I gross about 17 to 20K a month off the CMOS.
Okay. So he
back
got
then I
successful.
back then I was probably grossing like 12 to 15.
So he got a successful CMOS business. So he's saying it's all off the moss. It's all off the moss.
Muscle.
All off the moss. So, all right, man. I appreciate you for coming on, man, and sharing your story. It's unfortunate how it went for you, but maybe God was for your individual situation. I'm not saying for everybody.
Yeah.
I think maybe for your individual situation, just listening to it, it seems like your place is probably more at home. So maybe that happened for that, and also because of the CMOS, maybe you just need to put more time. Sometimes things happen for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I chose it up to.
And I think because you got your money back, which when people buy things like used as is, it usually means used as is. So for them to give you your money back, I don't want to say it's rare, but you rarely hear people talking about it. I think a big part of them giving your money back is they were at a time. Well, that, and it was also because they were having a record year. So to give you back 28,000 on a year they made over $1 billion, because they were charging just like people were spending in upwards of $2,000, $2,500 a week to rent trucks. They were making money.
Yeah.
It was a record year. They beat 2021. 2021 was a record year. 2022 was a record year. 2022. These were all record years for all the rental truck companies. I believe now, a situation like now where, they're calling me every week, Mark, you need any trucks, this, that, and the third, where, they're cold calling clients to come in and get trucks. It might have played out a little different. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it probably was a blessing in disguise for you, and I'm glad to hear that your CMOS business is doing exceptionally well, and maybe just double down on that. I'm pretty sure you did. It sounds like you did, because it sounds like your numbers are up from where they were last year, and maybe you can create another division and start doing delivery of the CMOS, and maybe you can get back into trucking, delivering your own product. So we'll just keep up with you and see how that goes. All right.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Until next time, guys, I'm out. Peace.